All right, hello everyone. My name is Purcell, and this is another edition of Don't Waste Your Time. This video may not be for you. This is a non-EV video. This is pretty much a install before, during, and after install of garage flooring. We've been doing several things as far as upgrading our home, and one is adding additional lighting on our house. You can see now we have our traditional garage light. We have the pole light that is out there. Upgraded my lighting, as you can see with photos here, just to put a little bit more lighting on the house, because in this cul-de-sac back here in the back, especially at night, it's very dark, and some of the kids cut through between my neighbor's house to go to the front of the community. There's a little walking path there, so we just want to make our house a little bit brighter and with more improvements. And the improvements that we're doing next is to get rid of this atrocious flooring that my son and I put up. It was a good idea at one point, and then it kind of just went to waste. When I moved in this house roughly about 12 years ago, the cement underneath this was fine, but I just wanted to cover that because I can tell that the tracks going into the garage were becoming more and more prevalent. So my son and I, we went on Amazon and we decided to get this type of material here, and we did it ourselves. As you can see, we did it ourselves. I'm not gonna blame my son, blame me for the atrocious gorilla taping of this mat that we have now. You know, on first look, it looks pretty good, but if you here, or you can't see, my wife's car is not here, the flooring now is beginning to pucker. And the edges, it used to be closer to the wall, and now you can see that it's puckering here, and it's just a hot mess. And it's actually even a tripping hazard if you watch out. You can get your foot caught up underneath where you come into the garage. I kind of taped that down. You can actually trip and fall. So, you know, we had to get rid of this. We're getting rid of this stuff here. Here's a great example of tripping hazard right here. Every now and then I have to watch my steps so I wouldn't trip over this. So I don't want my wife to fall. Definitely don't want me to fall. So now we are going with Swisstrax, and this is not an endorsement. I did a lot of research on what type of flooring I wanted to get, and this was the better value for my wallet. I don't say it's the cheaper value for my wallet, but it's the better value for my wallet. I've had some prices coming in at $8,000 and $9,000, and I'm like, you are in the wrong zip code, brother. I live in Southern Maryland, not where the big money is. So I decided to get the Swisstrax, and we're going to document how this all will look once it's complete. I can't wait. I think the main reason for me with going with Swisstrax versus epoxy was the fact that the people who I talked to when they did my epoxy, if they would do my epoxy flooring, I would have to sit my valuable tools and all of my belongings outside of the garage for a period of 24 hours without any recourse of having them stored. I would just have to fly to my neighbors, not to steal my stuff, not to say my neighbors would, but I didn't feel comfortable having my personal items outside of my control for a period of 24 hours. Swisstrax, less than a day, actually around 2 or 3 hours install, and bam, you're right back in your garage having your stuff safely secured. The site, again, is Swisstrax.com. This is not an endorsement. I've said that many times because it's not. I just like the product, and I'm just sharing some information with you. So on the site that you can see, they have the world's finest garage flooring. Leave epoxy in the dust. Another concern, my wife is kind of sensitive to those types of smells. Didn't want her exposed to that. So again, safe buy was to go with the Swisstrax. So as I'm scrolling down right now, you can see the variety of different floorings that you could get. I decided to go with the Ribtrax, which is the red one on the left-hand side there. You also have the Ribtrax Smooth, and you also can get the Vinyl Trax, the Diamond Trax, and the Logo Trax. Logo Trax, I really considered doing that because I could have put a Tesla T, but I didn't want to do all of that. If you have a business, Logo Trax might be for you. And besides, the Swisstrax flooring is not just for garages, it's for all different types of flooring that's inside or outside of your home. I really like the Swisstrax because of the design, as I've said that many times before. But if you have any questions, you can always start your project by using the Swisstrax Pro design team, and I've called them many times. I reached out to them and they were super helpful. Again, you can have the Swisstrax around your deck if you have a pool deck, if you have a pool. And this is the design where you can actually go in and design your floor according to the specs that you have measured in your garage. You can come up with a variety of different styles, different colors. And I just went with something fairly basic, and I really like the simplicity of using the Swisstrax floors. Jacob and his team is so awesome. You need to check them out if you ever go that route at Swisstrax.com. Well, today is the day, and now you can see how bad. Look, I live in a nice house, but this garage floor is hideous. It's so bad, and I've been here for over 15 years. And come on, Purcell, you can do better than this. It's bad. When the cars are over it, you can't see it, but I see it. It bothers me. It might not bother you, but it bothers me. So I got to correct it. And obviously, I'm gonna try to stay in this house as long as I can. I'm doing a lot of upgrades, so my son can take over this house if he wants to sell it, if he wants to keep it, if he wants to rent it out. I'm doing the hard work now, so he won't have to do it. That's just me, and it's just my opinion. All right, so here it is, the finished product. Oh my God, it turned out so well. I just am floored. I'm doing bunny ears when I say floored. My wife would love it. She has not seen this yet, and she's been out all day, and when she comes home, oh, I can't wait for her to see it. It's going to be something, a nice expression I'm sure she's going to have on her face. So let me just run over a couple of quick things. One, when you take on a project like this, you can do it on the computer on the Swisstrax website, right? You can pick out all your colors. You see here, I got black, I got steel gray, and then I have another type of darker gray. So you can mix and match all of the colors that you want. It's all pretty much the same price. But when you do measure your floor, I want to caution you, measure twice and order it once, all right? Measure twice and order it once. I measured my floor, I measured it 3 times, and I came up a half a box short. Maybe it was me, I don't know. But luckily for me, the person that lives not too far away from my house also has Swisstrax floors. And ironically, the guy who did my floors, did her floors, he called her up and said, hey, do you have any extra Swisstrax black floor tiles? And she said, I sure do. And so she let me have a full box of Swisstrax black floor tiles to wrap it up. So it was by luck that happened. If not, we would have been short. I would have had to order the Swisstrax overnight, and then they had to come back another time to do it, but it all worked out. So again, measure your garage, your space, whatever you want to use a Swisstrax in, measure it a few different times, and then just order it one time, okay? Now, as far as the installation, 3 hours, it worked out great. We did have to take a break when he went over to the young lady's house to get the Swisstrax, but all in all, it was great, and this guy really knew what he was doing. He started off in the garage area right here at the beginning of the of the garage. So he laid down this first set, as you saw on the video, and then he just measured it. He measured it a few times to make sure he had it right. I have this broom stuck out here along with this reed eater to show you that the expert work that he just went around and he just made everything super tight. I mean, he cut this thing like it was a steak on a grill. I mean, he was on it. And then of course I have the angled steps that's hanging out here. And again, that's right down to where you want it to be, right up against it. And then of course on his back wall, he did the same thing. So the guy definitely knew what he was doing. He's done a number of these in my area, but he is so hard to get in contact with because he does other things for his daytime job. So I appreciate him coming out to my house and making my dreams come true. And if you do use Swisstrax and get Swisstrax installed, I hope you enjoy them as well. Thank you for watching. Thank you so much. Be safe out there. Peace. As the old saying goes, for every action, there is a reaction. And my wife's reaction when she saw the floor was absolutely encouraging for me because she was surprised. She's not into all this aftermarket stuff I put on my car. She likes it, but it's not her. She just says, the car has 4 wheels, an engine, and goes, and that's all she cares about. And ironically, she said the same thing about the floor. After I pointed out there were some things, that we need to address. But when I showed her the design, she was like, okay. But when she came home, she was actually impressed. She actually liked it. And we stood out here for 10 minutes or so, and she really liked it. So then she pitched the question, when you're going to get the garage finished? The queen has spoken. Happy life, happy wife, right? And when the queen speaks, I jump. I don't even ask how high. So today, ladies and gentlemen, those who are watching, we're getting the drywall installed here and over here. And then tomorrow, we'll be painting the garage. So for every action, there's a reaction. But the story doesn't stop there.